when COVID was in full swing, we all had to learn how to cope with this upheaval in our lives in our own particular ways. Personally, I turned to watching old serials like these, Adventures of Captain Marvel and Commander Cody and the Green Hornet, King of the Rocket Men, and of course, The Shadow, among many others that I watched. I found them to be comforting and reassuring in a time of uncertainty because they all followed a certain format. They were all rather predictable, and we knew that the hero would survive in the end. And that brings us all to today's episode. This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today, a film from a studio responsible for several of those serials that I showed you. And we're going to look at one of their films and also a documentary about that studio. Let's check it out. Today's film is The Catman of Paris from 1946, a very brisk 63 minutes long in beautiful black and white. This takes place in Paris in the 1800s, the late 1800s. And it's about this guy, Charles, who's a writer. He just returned from the Orient. He's having some strange headaches and memory lapses. And meanwhile, there's a killer clawing people to death on the streets of Paris. And Charles is the number one suspect. This film is okay. Visually, there's about 2 or 3 scenes with a strong visual style or atmosphere. Otherwise, it's pretty stagey for the most part. The dialogue, yes, I know it's an old film and I watch a lot of old films, but still, the dialogue does not sound how people really talk. I'll give you a couple of examples. There's a prefect. He's one of the guys in charge of the investigation of these murders. And right away he says, it may have been something supernatural, perhaps a Catman. Later on, Charles' fiancée, she's a little upset because Charles is being distant. And she says to him, Charles, I'm waiting for some sort of explanation. So that's the kind of line delivery you get, and the kind of dialogue you get is pretty stiff. The acting is also pretty stiff, pretty old school, and unnatural sounding, except for some reason for one of the inspectors. He just sounds like a regular person the way regular people talk. So like I said, I know it's an old film. Still, it doesn't have to sound like that. The Catman himself, you don't see him in the full makeup, which I'll show you a little bit later, until about the last 10 minutes of the film. And then it kind of looks like Mr. Hyde from Jekyll and Hyde. Overall, think of this as sort of a low-budget version of Cat People, which is arguably a classic, filled with atmosphere, subtlety, suspense and mystery. All those things you're not going to find in this film. And of course, when I refer to Cat People, I'm talking about the original Cat People that was produced by Val Lewton. So for The Catman of Paris, I'm going to give this one 2.5 top hats out of 5. You thought I was going to say cats, didn't you? Why top hats? For some reason, almost all the men, even the cops in here, are wearing top hats. I'm not sure why. But, you know, it's a reasonably entertaining film. It's just nothing that special. It has a sense of humor about it, too. So what's on this disc? This is an imprint disc. It has one of their very nice slip covers. And if you open it up, you'll see there's what the Catman looks like. So kind of Mr. Hyde-ish in a way. And there is an audio commentary, which I did not listen to. There are 2 extras. One is a 15-minute video essay, but the main feature here, the main extra rather, is a documentary about Republic Pictures. That runs almost 2 hours, so it's about twice as long as this film itself. About 90% of that documentary consists of clips, which is great, with narration. It was a small studio in the San Fernando Valley here in Southern California. I did not know they were in the Valley. I grew up in the Valley. I didn't know that's where the studio was. They just cranked out movie after movie after movie. And of course, serials. Their biggest star was John Wayne. He made 33 movies for Republic Pictures. I didn't know that either. And all the serials, westerns and science fiction serials and jungle movies, or serials rather, all that kind of stuff. So there are 4 sections to the documentary: cliffhangers, the singing cowboy like Roy Rogers and Gene Autry, the war years, and then changing times, where they kind of got into the film noir genre. So where can you see The Catman of Paris? Well, you can always buy it. It goes for about $30 if you can find it. I think that's a little bit too much, even though you're getting the documentary too. That helps. But the good news is it looks like both the film and that Republic Pictures documentary are on YouTube for free. I don't know what the quality is, but I saw them listed there and it looked like it was for free, so you can check that out if you want to. So feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down below. I would like to thank the following people who have left comments since our last episode. There's a lot, so hopefully you enjoy me reading these off. We have Najwa, Sid, Jody, Tina, The Movie Addict, Neil's Movie Channel, Martin, Chris, RD712, FR, Mon, Juan, QDP, and Travis. Thank you for taking the time to comment. You know, if there's other serials you like, feel free to comment down below. Leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. We are like 3 away from 800 subscribers. So let's see if we can get to 825. I would like to thank the following subscribers, getting a lot lately, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. Anyway, since our last episode, the following people have subscribed: Tom H., Joshua, Jane, AJ Abrams, some foreign names I'm not too sure I can pronounce correctly: Bipa Kane, Zevilhead1, John, J. Sustain, and Ugo Chakwu. So thank you so much for subscribing. Subscribing is free. Share this with your friends and neighbors as well. Also free is we are on the Letterboxd app under the Kazdoy Closet. There's a link down below in the show notes, and that's where we leave brief written reviews of other things we're watching that we don't talk about here. Most recently, Natural Born Killers, The Holdovers, and a couple of comedy specials: Dave Chappelle, The Dreamer, and Ricky Gervais, Armageddon. So check those out if you'd like to. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Here's to 2024. See you next time.